Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad, salutations of Allah and peace and blessings be upon him, is his final messenger and seal of prophets. And I bear witness that Jesus, Isa, the son of Mary, is the Messiah and prophet and messenger of Allah. Now, you're watching Discover Allah 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This channel is strictly for the people of the book and those agnostic and those from other faiths who are willing to have an open mind and think about the purpose of life and where the truth should be, if they're seekers of truth. Now, for the people of the book, especially the Christians who are really misguided, and the foolish follow the foolish and the blind follow the blind, and they just pat each other on the back. Shaitan's just fooling them. They're deceived by Shaitan. The likes of Sam Shimon, David Wood, Christian Prince, and now we have this new personality, supposed to be ex-Muslim, Asian background from the UK, Sonia Azam. Because we don't know, these Christians, they deceive the people so much. Yeah, you don't know when it's true. There's a true ex-Muslim. Are they truthful, or are they just paid brown Christians from Arab continent or from Pakistan, from the Southeast Asian community that happen to be Christian? So to shed some light on the matter of Sonia Azam, if there are people from her relatives, if she is an ex-Muslim, that can give us some feedback concerning the matter, that if she was a Muslimah, that would be very handy if someone could message me and give us some feedback concerning her background, if she is an ex-Muslimah from Pakistani background, I think, or any other neighboring country, nations to Pakistan. Now, Sonia Azam is very ignorant and foolish from what she tries to convey. She conveys that she's found Christ from Islam to Christ, and now she's saying Allah is the Moongod, where she said Allah is the Moongod. Also now she's combining Islam, like Islamic belief, to Freemasonry, Satanism, Baal worship. All this is false. We're going to go through this one by one. I'm going to expose her one by one. Now, when it comes down to Allah being the Moongod, this is false, where even Jews are coming out and exposing these silly Christian missionaries concerning the matter of who Allah is: the God of Abraham, the God of Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob and the tribes, and the God of Moses, Jesus and Muhammad, peace be upon them all. So as you can see, Allah is not the moon god. We follow the lunar calendar. It does not mean we worship the moon. Moon god is on Monday. They have it called Monday. As you can see, us Muslims, if you really research Islam and the Arabic language and the days, you need to research things, how the days are labeled in Islam and Christians, in the Christian Judaic Greco calendar and the world. In Islam, in the Arabic tradition or Semitic Abrahamic traditions, our days are named after numbers, not gods or pagan gods, such as in Christianity, these fake Christians, these Pauline Christians, who still.
Wikipedia, Christianity is an Abrahamic monotheistic religion.
Sorry about that. So, when it comes down to it, Sonia is ignorant concerning the matter of us Arabs or Semites or the Abrahamic faiths of Judaism and Christianity. We named our days after numbers. Ahad. Sunday, which they worship on the sun god, or the Christian Sunday service, usually the majority, the non-Saturday worshipping Christians who worship on a Sunday. We don't call it Sunday the day Constantine and the Romans worshipped the sun god, or Mithras. We call it Ahad. Ahad. Yeah? Yom Ahad. Ahad is the first day of the week, derives from the word one, Wahid. The second day is Al-Ithnain. Al-Ithnain, you Christians call Monday. Monday derives from the moon god. Us Muslims don't worship on Monday. We call it the second day of the week. We have Thalatha. Thalatha. Even in Aramaic and in Hebrew, if you watch Passion of Christ, he said 30 pieces of silver in Aramaic. Thalathin. You hear him say Thalathin. 30 pieces of silver in Aramaic. And same in Arabic, we say Thalathin. Arbi'a, Wednesday, is the fourth day of the week. Wednesday, another god. Thursday is the fifth day of the week. You name it Thursday. We say Khamis, Khamsa. Khamis, Khamsa. You say Thursday, Thor, the god of thunder. And Friday, another god. You say Friday. We say Jum'ah. Yom Sadis, we don't name it after a number, Sitta. Yom Sadis. We don't say this. We say Jum'ah, the day of congregation, the day of gathering. The gathering, Allah made a gathering when He created Adam, the best of His creation. And He gathered His creation from mankind, from the angels and the jinns, to salute Adam, humble themselves and salute, give respect to Adam. It was on that day, on the sixth day, on the sixth period, like Yom Sadis, the day of gathering was Jum'ah. You say Friday. And when God created everything in 6 periods, He rose above His throne on the 7th. He did not rest on the 7th. Sab'a, Sabbath, Sept, or Shabbat. In Arabic is Sept. Sept comes from the 7th day, where Allah rose above His throne on the 7th. This starts from Friday sunset, lunar calendar. The day is night day. The first day starts from night, not day, night. Night, day. So the first day of a Friday, or the Sabbath, starts from Friday evening at sunset. That's when the first day starts from night. And then then it ends with the day, Sabbath, Saturday day, for the next day to start Ahad, again, the first day of the week. It will be in the evening on the day of Sabbath, or Sept, the 7th day. So as you can see, the lunar calendar is followed by Semites, Abrahamic faith. The prophets followed this calendar, this system. This calendar is the lunar calendar the prophets were under, not the solar calendar of the Romans and the Greco calendar. And the Greco calendar, I showed you why us Semites, we name the days after numbers, so we're not worshipping no gods. You can't say we're worshipping any gods, or Allah's the Moongod, or this, that. That's one exposing about the Moongod. Now also, Sonia Azam, I'm going to expose you concerning the Moongod lie. I'm going to give you 3 witnesses now. Here we go. Jewish witnesses, what they say about the name Allah. Here we go. Bismillah.
As a Yemenite Jew, I can tell you that the name itself is not the devil. is not a pagan idol, is not the moon god, as evangelical Christians have been propagating for decades. This is a very, very sick cult, by the way, and their idiocy is quite redundant. I mean, I can't even imagine if people would actually teach themselves these things and flatter themselves with these things, and at the same time claim to support Israel, when in actuality in Israel we say Allah, we say Yallah, we say these terms, these phrases are understandable to our understanding, that they are not in any way, shape, or form to what they say, to what evangelical Christians say is basically the devil. No, we understand what the name Allah means, what it signifies. Take the dictionary of the Hebrew language. I take the dictionary and I actually took the name of God, which is through etymology is the three letters Aleph, Lamed, Veh. Basically, I wrote it down. I know I don't have the whole thingamajigs on. You get the idea. So basically, Aleph, Lamed, Veh. This in Hebrew means, well, without the, see, that's the thing. Without the vowels, because the dots, the nikud, the dots, or the vowels right here, these are vowels beneath the letters, indicate how the word itself is to be pronounced. So I'm going to block these right now for a second, but I'm going to show you. This right here, in my understanding, because I'm going to say what it is, this says God. Elah is God in Hebrew. Now, with these two right here, with these two vowels, this is the Fatah Sagol, Fatah Sagol. This would indicate that this would turn the word God, which without these vowels it would be God, Elah. Now it would be Olo, Olo. Olo means a curse, an oath, or a covenant. Christian evangelicals love to use this. They like to say, but you see, Allah, with these vowels, indicates that Allah is a curse. Therefore, the Muslims are worshipping an evil God who was a curse onto humanity. These evangelical Christians, they're nutcases, they're nutbags. And I took it upon myself further to actually see how they got this idea that Allah, the Arabic name of God, is a curse, and more recently is the devil. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. Allah is not the devil. God forbid. May God even forgive me for saying such horrible things. But here's the Hebrew version of the Arabic name Allah once it is written in Hebrew. The Arabic name Allah has 4 consonants because Hebrew is like Arabic. It's almost similar. Same alphabet, same thing, just different script. This is the Arabic name of God. This is how the script is. This is what it's connected, because Arabic is a cursive language. This is the connected form, but however, it is 4 letters. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to have to baby you guys into this. Now this is the name of God, Allah in Arabic, but broken up. So that way each letter is given its position. This is Aleph, this is Lam, this is Lam, this is Ha. So Allah. Okay. Now this right here, Allah in the Arabic script, this is how it would become rendered in the Hebrew rendition. That way, Allah in Hebrew would be Aleph, Lamed, Lamed, He. Okay. Now, how do we get this? Which this right here is, this basically means curse. And the only reason why this means this curse, because of these 2 vowels. There are 7 letters in the Hebrew language that look like this, that have these 3 consonants. There are 7 Hebrew words in the Hebrew language that have these 3 consonants, and they're both the same. How do Hebrew-speaking Jewish people or non-Jewish people know? How do they differentiate? How do they know when a curse means a curse and God means God? Because this right here, without the vowels, this literally means God. This right now I'm just God. This says Elah, Elah. Now with the vowels, it means Ola, which means a curse. This right here. I'm actually going to write down the proper Hebrew name of God with the correct pronunciation. This is how we know. This is how we could tell when God is God and when the letter represents, or when the word is God, or when the word means curse. Okay. There we go. Notice the symbol, notice the vowels. This becomes A, and this dot right here, the holom, it becomes Alo. Alo. Olo, and Alo. Olo, Alo. Guys see the difference? This right here, though they have the exact same letters, everything is rendered the same thing. However, the use of vowels in the Hebrew language allows us to make distinctions between the understandings of what the words mean, what they imply. This may mean curse, but this at the same time may mean God. Okay, that's fine. In Arabic, God can also be written without using two L's. So it could actually be Alif, Lam, the He. So, Ilah, which is the exact same thing as Allah. Their understanding of how they approach God is exquisitely the same. We do not share the system of belief with Christians that they and us worship the same God. No, we do not. So help me God. But Christian evangelicals do not worship the God of Israel. They do not worship the Islamic perspective of God. Maimonides, one of our greatest philosophers in Judaism, as well as a religious philosopher of Judaism, has quoted extensively in his beautiful Igeret Teiman, or the Epistle to Yemen, in which he was basically teaching and basically answering many questions brought forward to him. The Jews of Yemen asked, what is your position of Muslims? Are they considered idol worshippers? Are they considered paganists? And Maimonides said, the Muslims, the idolatry has been removed from their hearts. A Muslim does not know idolatry, he does not know paganism, he has no form of whatsoever of any grain left in his heart. Therefore it is permitted unto a Jew, when he enters a land where he cannot find a synagogue, that he is allowed to pray in a Muslim mosque. He's okay, it's fine, it's okay. Hey, I can go to a Muslim mosque and pray if I have to, if I can't find a shul. However, Maimonides says, be careful. If a Jew enters a land where there is no mosque or a synagogue, then he is forbidden to enter a Christian church if there is one. Do not pray in a Christian church. And the reason why is because Christians do not worship the same God we do. They worship a pagan. They are idolaters. They are called Avodah Zarah in Hebrew, which means idol worshippers. So exquisitely said, so wonderfully stated. Oh my goodness. And you know, it's quite interesting that unfortunately there should be more Jews actually stating the facts as it is, that you know, Muslims and Jews and Muslims, we both worship the same God. No matter what these crazy evangelical Christians are saying, they're basically nutbags. Whatever they say, they just try to come up with exceeding lies, redundant lies. The type of lies that only a child in the kindergarten could easily make up. And emphasize that Arab Christians, and you know, this is what's also funny, and thankfully I remember this, because this is what I really wanted to say, and get a load of this, Christian evangelics. I should refer to you guys as evangelics. There are actually 20 million Arab Christians in the Middle East today, as well as the United States, as well as around the world. And Arab Christians and their religious services, and their Sunday services, and Mass, or whatever God frickin' services they have, Arab Christians refer in the Arabic Bible, the Arabic translation of the Bible, they say Allah in reference to God. Now, I would like to ask these evangelicals, what say ye of these people who claim to believe in your Jesus? What say ye to them? Now, are you going to go chase them and say, oh, you're worshiping the devil. The devil is Allah. Just to let you know that classical Arabic is very close to classical Hebrew, biblical Hebrew, as well as classical Aramaic. They all tend to agree, they all agree in unison that Allah, Hashem, Allah are, through etymology, which is the study of the root of words, have come to unanimous agreement that Allah is the perfect Arabic name of God, that it cannot be made into a male. Through its perfection, it cannot be made into a male gender nor a female gender. Rather, it is a neutral personification, not personification, but rather a neutral attribute to God. Such wonderful history.
Our goal is to announce to the world, God is one, His royalty is one, His name is one. Or as you say it in the Quran, Allahu Wahad, Allahu Samad, Lam Yallad wa Lam Yullad. God is one, God is eternal, and this is and our dream is to announce it, united, announce it to the world.
God, Allah, I mean, it almost seems like it's a different God that they're praying to.
No,
oh, it's the same. It is the same word. In fact, it's not only the same word. It all comes from the word al, which means powerful. And therefore, there are many names for God in the Quran. You'll find not only Allah, but you'll find Ilah. I'll explain the difference in a moment. You'll find Rahman, let's say in Surah 19, just like in Tanakh. But it's the same Semitic language, but it's so close that, for instance, let's take the name Ilah, okay, which means God in Arabic and in the Quran. That word, it operates exactly like in the Ten Commandments. You shall have no other gods on my face. So that word Elohim in that context of Exodus 20 means a false god. And Ilah can mean a false god, like saying La ilaha illallah. There is no God, meaning false god, but Allah, the true God. So we use the same name, the same shoresh, the same root, which could mean the true God or a false God. So of course it's the same God. And I just say it, Christians who say that Muslims do not worship the God of the God of Abraham, when you say that to a Muslim, you are making yourself look like a complete idiot. And Muslims will laugh at you. They believe not only that Abraham was a prophet who was a Muslim, but not in real, doesn't mean if you walked over to Abraham and asked him what's your religion, say I'm a Muslim. It's an Arabic word. It means that Abraham submitted himself before God. And every Muslim believes that Yitzchak was a prophet. And every Muslim believed, in fact, most of the prophets, the 25 prophets in the Quran, were Jewish. And Yaakov was a prophet. So therefore they believe in the God of many, many prophets, including Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, of blessed memory. And Christians who tell Muslims that they worship moon gods and shmoon gods and all these things, I really want to save you embarrassment, because the Muslims are going, this person needs medication. They have no idea what you're talking about. They worship one true God, and therefore Islam has a unique status and great respect in the Jewish faith.
My dear brothers and sisters, I was asked the question whether Allah is the same God as the God of the Old Testament. And I would like to elaborate on that. The answer to that question is yes. The Muslim concept of Allah is exactly the same as the Jewish concept of Hashem. Therefore, no matter what you hear, some people like to claim that Allah is the moon god or whatever you hear, this is all nonsense. And, whether the word Allah was used for something else before Islam, I'm not sure, maybe. I'm not sure exactly, I'm not a linguist. But that's really not the important part. The important part is, what is Allah today? What does the word Allah mean today to Muslims? What it means today to Muslims is exactly the same what Hashem means to the Jews. That's really, there's no argument there. Our only argument between Jews and Muslims are whether Muhammad was a prophet or not. That's really the only argument. But the concept of God is, really exactly the same. And therefore, no matter what you hear, even if some Jews tell you that, we don't believe in the same God as the Muslims do, they're only saying this because of political reasons. And everybody knows this, since Jews and Muslims are at war in Israel, so some Jews may be prone to say, therefore anything Muslims do, it's wrong. They will believe in a different God, they do this. But this is all nonsense, and in fact, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, who was probably the biggest scholar that ever lived, he lived about 1,000 years ago, he said he was really critical of those who are, spreading lies just because of a political reason. And he was really critical, and he says those who say that Muslim concept of God is different and it's like idol, he says these are bad, this is bad people. I don't know exactly which word he used, but he was really critical of those people. And he says that, in fact, the Muslim concept of God is exactly the same. And not only that, he says if a Jew needs to pray, he is allowed to go to a mosque and pray together with the Muslims, because the Muslim concept of God is exactly the same as the Jewish concept of God. There's no argument there. So I hope this answers your question. And no matter what, by the way, one more thing I wanted to mention. Just like in English, we have the word God, right? Back maybe 1,000 years ago, I'm not sure what the word God meant. It could have probably been the name of some idol that was named God. And then eventually this term came into English language and it began to be used to a different, in a different connotation to the one God. So therefore, just like somebody who uses the word God today does not necessarily mean that he worships that idol that existed 1,000 years ago, right? Because this is just a word. The way it was used at that time is one thing, now it's used differently. Therefore, same thing with the word Allah. We go by what the word Allah means to Muslims today. It doesn't matter what it meant before Islam. It's not really relevant. So to answer the question, I want to repeat it and to make sure everybody really understands that, yes, the Allah is really the same God of the Torah. Allah is the same God of the Torah. And as I said, the only argument Muslims and Jews have is whether Muhammad was a prophet or not. That's really the only argument. As far as God goes, or Allah goes, we believe in the same God. In fact, as a Jew, I can say, and I can freely say this, and without even any hesitations, I can use the Arabic phrase Allahu Akbar, and have no problem saying this. Allahu Akbar, I can say this all I want. And even the part of the Shahada that the Muslims say, Lo ilaha illa Allah, I can also freely say this, and I don't feel any, remorse about saying this, because their concept of God is exactly the same as the Jewish concept of God. Thank you for watching.
So we went through not three witnesses, Jewish accounts concerning who Allah is, and He's not the Moongod, confirmed by the Jewish community. People that are coming forward to refute Christian missionaries' lies that Allah is Satan and Allah is the Moongod. When they try to say they worship the God of Abraham, when they're far from monotheism and the God of Abraham. These Christian missionaries in Christianity. So this is part 1 of me exposing Sonia Azam, and part 2 I will be going through the facts and exposing her lies concerning the connection between Freemasonry, New World Order and Islam. I'm going to go through the facts concerning that, exposing these ridiculous claims made by missionaries and made by Christians such as this Sonia Azam. So I'll be back inshallah with part 2 of exposing Sonia Azam and her lies concerning Islam and Allah. Let's discover Allah 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For the sincere Christians, read the Quran, be sincere to the Creator, and Allah will guide you. Let's discover Allah 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.